HMP वाले पुराने घर एक्सटेंड कर दिंदे ਹਨ ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਪਾਸੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਵੇਂ ਘਰ ਦੀ ਫਰੇਮਿੰਗ ਕਰਵਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ।
Hello, Ina, कैसी हो? Sharmila, Yaripunar, how are you? Dan ji, thank you so much for joining again. Again, thank you so much. Roshni ji, कैसी है? How are you? How's Karishma doing? Thank you so much. Amir bhai, Yaripunar, Rano, Pinky, Zina, Helen, Almas, Reese, Gary. That's all. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Amir bhai. One is Facebook, one is YouTube. Hello, Rishma. Thank you so much. जी सलाम नमस्ते सत श्री अकाल जी सलाम नमस्ते सत श्री अकाल मैं यानी मैं आपको होस्ट जलाल आपके खिदमत से आप सब सुन रहे देख रहे हैं सलाम नमस्ते कैलगरी और रेडियो सुसंगम इन कैलगरी। अगर आप एडमंटन में हैं तो रेडियो सुसंगम इन एडमंटन, या तो आप दुनिया के किसी भी कोने से हमें फेसबुक पर देख रहे हैं, यूट्यूब पर देख रहे हैं, इंस्टाग्राम पर देख रहे हैं। सो आई वेलकम यू ऑल टू द न्यू एपिसोड ऑफ सलाम नमस्ते कैलगरी विद मी as your host Jalal Arak, and of course मेरी जो co-host है सलमा जी, she is not here because she is gone to Lisbon, Portugal for the finale of the Diamond Jubilee of His Highness the Aga Khan. और उसका ये जो स्पेशल वीक है, it's going to be Jubilee Arts, a lot of film festival, arts festival, and of course it's going to be the Diamond Jubilee celebration with His Highness the Aga Khan. He will be going there as well. तो हमारे जो इस्माइली बहन भाई जो कि अपना जाने वाले हैं, और इधर यू विल वॉच आफ्टर, सो ऑफ कोर्स ये मुबारक टू ऑल ऑफ यू टू बी देयर, और इफ यू आर गोइंग देयर सो इंशाल्लाह यू विल बी देयर and enjoy the moment, and of course keep us in your prayer as well. And again, Diamond Jubilee Mubarak to all our Ismaili brothers and sisters around the world. So वो मौका देखते हुए आपको जैसे पता है कि 11 जुलाई आ रही है, which is a खुशहाली as well, इमामत डे खुशहाली as well. So उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए, so I'm gonna have a very special guest here, two of them. They are the Ismaili young entrepreneurs very talented, very smart. Well, of course, smarter than me for sure. And they are doing it. They have their own company now. But instead of me saying everything, so why don't we talk to them? Then you'll know, like what I'm talking about. And of course, I'll start with on my right. And he's our Faraz. Bojani Faraz, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Good, good, good. If you can just come close a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, viewers. And on my left, his partner, Nagib Damai. Nagib, how are you?
I'm good, thanks for asking.
Yeah, thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, and of course, I've seen you lots of time in a lot of events and in our, of course, like in our Jamaican as well. And so, why don't we talk about between individually first, and then of course we'll talk about your IT business, like your IT firm, like what you guys doing and what's the future now. So we'll start on your on my right. First, why don't you talk about your little bit? Now, who's for us?
Sure. So I'm the CEO of Sozen Tech.
Sozen Tech, that's a company
Yeah.
name. Awesome. Okay.
So I graduated with honors and bachelor's in computer science,
Mhm.
and then I went on to work in a startup called IMZO, which got pretty big and is now gone into Silicon Valley and Vancouver and other offices.
Wow.
And
Okay.
I've also worked at a software consultancy called De Facto and worked with enterprise businesses creating mobile apps.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, we created Sozen Tech, mobile solutions consultancy.
Okay. So you've been smart since you were like a kid, or just recently it happened last couple of years?
I mean, depends on your definition of smart.
Okay.
I like what I do. I
Yeah.
enjoy it. I just go with the flow.
Okay. So how was your school days? Leading up to the grade, like your bachelor thing.
It was very intense.
Yeah.
I knew what I wanted to do from grade 12.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I got introduced to computer science and coding and robotics, and that's where I found my passion for coding.
Okay.
And from there, I went into computer science, and I fast-tracked the program, and I took a lot of intense courses, and it was very hard,
Yeah.
but it paid off in the end.
Pair of course we can see that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. Nagib, what do you do, buddy?
I am the COO of Sozen Tech, so I
Okay.
handle the operations for the company.
Okay.
Graduated with a degree in biology and sociology, which doesn't seem to necessarily fit with Sozen
Exactly,
Tech and
yeah.
operations, but I
Yeah.
spent the majority of my life. I started working when I was 15 in my mom's business, and then once I turned 16, I started working in marketing and operations.
Nice.
So since then, I've been doing the same sort of thing all along. Unlike Faraz, didn't really know what I wanted to do
Yeah.
at a young age, and so I tried a little bit of everything,
Mm-hmm.
which came into play here
Mm-hmm.
because not knowing what you do actually allows you to learn a lot more about different things, and so
Right.
now I employ that knowledge, and here we are today.
Well, here we are. So you guys have your own company.
That's right.
Sozen Tech. Wow, wow. So for us, when you were when you were working for other people,
Yeah.
so then why you wanted to have your own company?
So something about it, I've always wanted to build my own thing.
Uh-huh.
But above all that,
Mm.
there are certain values that I wanted to
Of
try
course.
to create. And so one of those things was having a culture where people could do what they wanted. And I
Mm.
found that, with a consultancy, it can be good work that you really like, but you can also be put on work that you may not like so much.
Mm-hmm.
And things don't always go your way.
Of course.
But if it's focused towards a mobile trend and everybody wants to learn in the same direction, I feel like people can grow a lot farther and a lot
Mhm.
more.
When you're your own, it makes a huge difference.
Exactly.
Right.
And so we're able to drive that direction
Mm-hmm.
and basically drive where we want things to go,
Mm.
where people should go within our company, and how the culture is growing.
Right, right. So Nagi, of course, you know each other probably for a while. So then when was the first time, okay, let's have our own company? When did this happen?
So I guess the first time, so we met in university actually. In
Okay.
Faraz's last year and my third year of university. And at the time, we met actually in a dance class, and that was where the beginning of our friendship started.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, we joined a crew together for dancing.
Mm-hmm.
So we were spending a lot of time together, and we realized that there were things that Faraz was doing, and he would talk to me about, oh, I work with this company, and this is what we're doing, and I really like computer science, and so on and so forth. And one day we said, okay, let's see. So he asked me, what do you want to do when you get out of university? And I
Yeah.
said, I don't know what I want to do, but I know for sure that whatever I do, I want to do for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be self-employed. And so he asked, why didn't you go into business? And I said, It wasn't until recently that I figured out that that's what I wanted to do. And going into university again, I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I was one of those students who said, what am I good at in high school? Biology, okay, biology degree it is.
Exactly, yeah.
So for everyone out there that's going into university, don't do that. It's not a good way to do things.
Okay.
And a little while later, we realized, okay, Faraz said, I want to do this on my own. I want to work on my own. And I said, okay, I definitely want to do something on my own. And so he said, well, I'm ready to quit my job. And I said, you know what, you should do it. You should quit your job.
Okay.
So he quit his job and he started working on his own as a freelance developer initially. And then he started Chosen Tech. And then a little while later, he said, hey, you're at the point now where you're still going to start looking for work. And so why don't you join Chosen Tech? And I said, you know what, that sounds great.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to code. And he said, oh, don't worry about it. There's a lot that you can do that doesn't involve coding. And I said, you know what, in that case, I'm all on board. And since then, we sort of took a leap of faith and said, okay, let's do it.
Is that
and
right?
Ever since, we've just been working hard and scaling slowly and slowly.
Okay, guys, there are so many people joining us after that. After we started, there is a Reshma, Shenul, Pratik Peters, Abdul Tanzil. She joined us from all the way from Lisbon.
Oh
wow, Aziz Lakha. Aziz and there is Ashraf Nisa, then Arif Karmali, Sonia, Melissa. Hello, Melissa from Florida. Thank you, Melissa. And of course, our Mukisa Bamir Jesani as well. So he pointed out, Tanzil joined us from all the way from Lisbon. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, what is coding? Hey, what is coding?
Coding is a way to talk to a computer and make it do things.
Okay.
So usually you'd want to make it do things that actually solve a problem. And so basically if you write a set of instructions that communicate with the computer and it solves something, that's called an algorithm.
Okay.
And so you can use coding to do so much. You can create websites, you can have code that, I don't know, schedules things for people, right?
Yeah.
Creates mobile apps, anything.
So, because now it's like, mobile apps now, because, last time, when I was checking, Apple has the more apps on their phone, like on iPhone, and of course, second is Samsung. They got millions of apps right now.
Yeah.
So, is it benefit to any business to have their own app, or they can just go online and go? What do you see that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, people are getting onto websites, and a lot of businesses already have websites.
Right.
And if they're not on there, they're still trying to catch up to technology. But for those that already have websites, they're competing with those businesses that have mobile apps, and they're able to do so much more for their customers. That are able to keep track of loyalty, or scheduling, or trying to figure out, hey, where's the closest barber to me? Hey, look, this one has a mobile app. I can figure it out. Oh, I can gain some points. Oh, I can get a free cut.
Exactly.
Right. So it's there's so much benefit of having a mobile app. One of those is just the wow factor. People will keep going to that business and have the retention of the customers because of it, but it also adds a lot of value for those customers.
Yeah, because nowadays you see that like the McDonald's, they have their own app now, and they put so many coupons on it, $2 for this burger, or you can say the breakfast sandwich, and even me now I'm going there. Get, because now I have everything on my phone. Even 7-Eleven now, they show so many coupons. And now Indigo Parking Services, they have their own app now. You can reserve a spot sitting at home through your app. So that's so much advanced now, and people like us, we are so behind now.
Yeah.
Where do you see that, Nagin? What's the future like? Because what you're looking at right now.
Yeah, so I was actually looking at some statistics earlier today, and in fact, it seems that the number of downloaded apps that are going to be on mobile devices is supposed to hit something ridiculous like 562 billion.
562 billions.
By the end of 4 or 5 years from today.
Wow.
And that's crazy to even think about.
Jeez.
That that many app downloads could ever happen.
Yeah.
And you're right, when it comes to something like McDonald's or Starbucks, just the fact that you can be in your office and order a Starbucks, and when you get there, you don't have to worry about paying or ordering.
Yeah.
You just go pick up your drink and leave. And in fact, it's a lot easier to do it on an app, because personally, I never used to drink Starbucks. And one of the reasons was it was costly, but the other reason was that I didn't want to stand in line and say, hey, can I get a tall caramel macchiato with
That's right.
extra whip topping and this and
Yeah,
that
yeah,
and this
yeah,
and that,
yeah.
and then have someone mess up my order.
That's right.
But if I put it into an app and say, this is what I want, okay, I want this feature added, a little bit less sweet, a little bit more of this, a little bit, I can customize it. And I can do that without even knowing what's on the menu.
Exactly.
And it makes it easier for the barista as well. So businesses benefit as well as the customer. And I think that the future is really, it's limitless because mobile apps are becoming more and more sophisticated, and the languages that are used to write those mobile apps for iPhones and Android, those languages are becoming more sophisticated as well. And so
which is the coding, which called
that's
coding.
right, the coding.
Yeah.
The abilities of coding is becoming more and more advanced, and so you can make more sophisticated apps. You can challenge more sophisticated problems, and you can break those barriers that you currently have.
Wow.
And there's a lot you can do.
Wow. Well, like guys, speaking of apps, if you can, like, if you don't know, like our Radio Sursangam, they have their own app as well. You can download for free. Radio Sursangam, you can download free. You can listen anytime, 24/7. Radio Sursangam, guys, it's on a Google Play and iPhone as well. Radio Sursangam, you can find that. And there are guys, bunch of people joined us as well. जिसमें हमारे आदित्य चौधरी कैसे हो यार? Thank you so much, buddy. There is Ankit, there is a Manjit जी भी है, Neena जी भी है, Zafar ji bhi hai, Murad bhi hai. There are so many people joining us. I think you guys are favorite, eh? Everyone joining us here. Wow. So this coding, is it very tough to learn? Or I know it's like nothing is easy, but is it tough to be kind of have some familiarity with this?
I think it can be tough to learn if you don't have the right resources or the right direction.
Right.
But if you know where to go, what to look for, and what to start with,
Right.
depending on what you want to go into, it can be actually quite easy. And so one of the things we do is we actually hold workshops and boot camps.
Oh.
So we actually teach people, because our idea is kind of to get people from their app idea to an actual app, something tangible, right?
Okay.
But whether that be actually helping them do it, like develop it for them,
Right.
or helping them learn, informing them. And so that's something we try to do. So through these boot camps, we basically help people through the business phase of what are the processes of actually coming up with that app. Is it just the development? No, you go through, helping through the idea, you walk the design, and then you can go develop the app. And this is how you do it. Here's step by step. Here's how you work with the platforms. This is what platforms means. Right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay, so what is the Susan thing? What do you guys do? So you guys teach how to make an app? That's what you do?
So that's part of the business.
Part of the business. Okay.
The other part of the business is consulting. So we work with companies, people like perhaps Radio Sursangam, to make their mobile apps for them and make their mobile app strategies for them. So a lot of people have in mind, ideas for what an app should look like, but they don't necessarily know how do I take that app
Right.
off the ground and how do I get it to become the next Snapchat or the next Facebook.
Exactly.
So helping them figure out not only, okay, let's make it for you and then whatever happens, but also helping them strategize and say, okay, you're going to make this app. Who are your competitors? Does it make sense for you to make the app? Does the app make sense this way, or should we tweak it a little bit? Asking those sort of questions, doing some research for our clients to say, okay, this is what the market looks like at the moment. Here is an opportunity for you to break into that market. And then, of course, coding those apps and making them for our clients. And then the other side, like Faraz was saying, is to teach people, because really it's just about sharing that knowledge and creating an ecosystem, a space where people can have an appreciation, because the future, like I said, is going to be all about technology and mobile apps specifically. And so we want to make sure that the most number of people are ready for that, because we realize that, and for us, can speak to this a little bit more, that even in university, you won't necessarily get enough resources. You'll learn how to code programs, but you don't necessarily learn for mobile platforms. So you don't learn how to code for iPhone apps, or you don't necessarily learn how to code in Java. And so maybe for us, you can talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
So when I was in university, I was very interested in mobile apps, and I was lucky enough to find a special topics course that wasn't always offered.
Okay.
That was actually to create an iOS app. And eventually that formed to a course in computer science, but it's only one that you can go into as an option if you're already so high up and in computer science. But what if you're a business student or in
Right.
biology or somewhere else and you want to
Right.
learn more?
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard to gain those skills unless you try to look through the internet and you have this tough time trying to figure out where to go because you don't have that direction.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So for like if I ask you what is the minimum, you can say like how much is the minimum for the app, any app, like where does it start from?
Right. I'd say the minimum is probably $500.
$500, yes, to have your own app, like very basic app,
There
is
is.
and goes up till how much?
I mean,
There is no limit.
the most I've worked on was probably $150,000 app,
150,000 app.
but it can go higher.
So is there diamonds in it?
I wish.
Code diamonds.
So what's the difference? Let's say the 500 you is going to be very basic. You can just go to wherever. But 150,000 is like the whole payroll and everything in there. That's what it is.
No, actually. So it might have some payroll in it,
Yeah.
but like I'm telling you, this is not even breaking the barrier. There can be apps that are worth millions, but this is when you get into enterprise apps,
Right.
right? Big businesses that have a lot of data. You need to connect to a lot of things,
Mhm.
and it becomes a lot of work to connect, into
Oh, I
these
guess so.
databases, into
Yeah.
the cloud.
Wow. So I didn't know. I thought probably $2,000-3,000 even you can have your own app, like your own app.
I mean, you could.
You
but
could,
it's-
Yeah, of course, and of course, anyone wants to have their own app, guys, please contact these two, gentlemen, Faraz and Naguib. Yeah, you'll be happy. Make sure to keep my commission, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Done, guys. There are some more people joining us. जिसमें सोरेन भी है, Abhishek, how are you, buddy? Abhishek, Alauddin, Aliba Punjabi, and there are so many people from around the globe. So Naguib, where do you see the future now? Because app, it's all about app. What do you see after app? What is next coming up after app? Like any projection you guys have?
So apps are pretty broad, but in terms of what kind of technologies are coming about with apps, there's a lot of things that are happening. So for example, virtual reality is one of those
Exactly,
one
yes.
of those things. So headsets that you can use to experience the world using in fact your mobile phones and your mobile apps associated with that. There's a lot of augmented reality apps that are coming out now so that you can play Pokemon Go, for example,
Okay.
and collect things in the real world through your phone. You can build tower stacks on your desk and play those kinds of games.
Oh my god.
If you go into a room, for example, and you want to plan out where to put your furniture, you can use your phone, and there's apps that are coming out to do things like that, and you can place it and say, okay, this is my actual space in actual dimensions, and this is what the room will look like after I put the furniture in. Does it even fit? Does it not fit? Instead of having to move all of that furniture around, put it in place, and then just to realize, oh, it doesn't even fit.
That's right, yeah.
Then there's a lot of stuff happening with artificial intelligence
Yes.
and machine learning, and so there's some simple applications that exist with that, just to say, for example, Siri is uses artificial intelligence, and then all of the other voice assistants,
Right.
but there's applications that are using them as well to make better predictions.
Better predictions. Wow. So for us, where do you see? Of course, now we see there is the Google Assistant or Alexia. So is it real? I know a lot of people are using it, like all those wireless everything now.
Yeah.
Is it worth it?
I think it is, especially if you're using it for like the small tasks that it's getting very good at now, such
Right.
as sending messages, reading messages, especially if you're on the go and doing simple tasks, even scheduling things.
Mhm.
Sometimes we want to find something on the internet like a definition,
Right.
or we want to time something. It's very easy to do with Siri, right, or a voice assistant. There are some things that they're still getting good at. For example, I'm not sure if you've heard, but lately Google's assistant for Samsung, they're able to schedule appointments. So you could say, hey, can you schedule an appointment at this barber? They'll call the barber and say, hey, we want to schedule this haircut from
Seriously?
10 to 11:30. Yeah, and I'm sure there's issues with it right now, but
Yeah.
in the future, I can see that being huge. I
It's
would use
coming,
that.
eh?
Yeah,
Oh my god. So we just call assistant, just make an appointment for me.
exactly.
Oh my god.
Why handle all that effort and staying on the line, right? When you can just use your assistant.
Jeez, this is so much coming, unbelievable. So I think the next for our cars, which is going to be driverless cars.
Yeah.
So where do you see the future? With your experience, where do you see the future of those cars?
I mean, I think it's like mind blowing
Yes.
that you'd be able to sit in a car and not have to drive it,
Mhm.
or it drives for you. It's a little scary as well. I think there'll be, it's going to be very hard for people to adopt it, but I think in time that will be the trend. You know, everybody will have their autonomous cars. Of course, they'll be able to have the manual override to drive the car just in case. And I also don't think that everybody will change over to autonomous cars. So it'll be very interesting to see, you know, autonomous cars driving alongside people driving cars normally. I definitely see that being something that's going to be adopted in, you know, many countries very soon.
Very soon. What about you, Nagi?
Same thing. Along the same lines of adoption, we even see that not even in autonomous vehicles, but even in simple things like companies deciding whether they need a mobile app or not. They'll say, well, we do this and it works for us. But they don't realize that they can actually do a lot to their bottom line. They can make more money if they just get an app to do a lot of the stuff for them. You know, even if it's just pennies and dimes, over time that adds up, and you make, at some point you've made the money you've invested, and then you start saving money as well. As far as driverless cars are concerned, I think, you know, they're in the near future, more near than people might want to believe. You know, that some of the technology already exists. Tesla has autopilot technologies that allows their vehicles to, right now, only in well-painted, well-marked straight roads, they can autopilot. You can just go cruise control. I think in the future, those things will, the biggest issue I think that autonomous vehicles will face is not even the technology. I think similar to how Uber had faced issues with legalities.
That's right.
They will face similar issues with legalities and legal adoption. I mean, it's promising, and hopefully by the time that, you know, those technologies become very reliable, we will be at a point in time where people realize that, you know, the times are moving forward, and we'll be in even more of a technological age, and those barriers will be able to be overcome, because personally I really want to see that technology. I really want to experience that technology.
And you know, like last week we had, we had one of the guests was Faisal Karmani, and he was saying, you know, they are already using driverless trucks in Fort Mac, in you know, for the oil sands.
That's right.
Yeah, there are about I think they were saying, I think they already laid off a few drivers as well, because now they have those trucks, which is a very short distance, but it is happening.
Yeah,
it is absolutely.
It is happening.
And even in the States, in a few states, they're using driverless vehicles for deliveries of small packages and things of the sort. There's a company in the States, DoorDash. They use robots, autonomous robots, to deliver food from restaurants. Sort of like a skip the dishes, but instead of having someone come to your door, it's just a little robot. You scan your phone and enter the code. It opens its lid, and you just reach in and get your food, and it's nice and warm, and it has warmers and coolers inside. So that's really cool. But you mentioned something, you know, that I think is really cool, and that's the fact that these technologies are already being adopted. And that's why it's so promising that these things will be coming out in the future even more.
So, like, what's the future of Sozen Tech? You know.
So it's kind of twofold. We really want to focus on the consulting side, and, you know, getting more clients, growing, expanding our team, being able to work on more enterprise projects. However, we're also focusing on the education side of things, so helping people, you know, learn how to take those steps of actually creating a mobile app. How do they get into technology, especially for those entrepreneurs that have ideas, but they're not sure, you know, what do I do? Do I need to find, you know, a chief technical officer to help me with everything? No, you can actually learn at least the initial steps to get you started, and from there, you know, find investors or find somebody else now that you know the initial knowledge, so on and so forth. And we also want to create a social impact. So we want to be able to give back to our community. And in time, we want to be able to, you know, donate to charities, hold coding competitions for young students, and, you know, basically nurture that ecosystem.
Yeah, that's right. And so, I'll give you the last question to you. So, where do you see the future of the social media? Social media, which is a Facebook, YouTube, and of course, like Twitter and everything. Where do you see that? Where it's going to go to the next step?
So I think that, you know, even though there's been a lot of issues lately, specifically Facebook, those things are not necessarily going to taper off. You know, there was another bug that came out recently, and it allowed people to hack some accounts but I don't think that's gonna have a big enough impact. These guys are giants now. Facebook, Instagram, which is owned by Facebook,
Right.
YouTube owned by Google.
Google, yeah.
So given all of that, there's so much power that they have. I think that the direction that specifically YouTube is going in is really exciting. I mean, they just released YouTube Music.
YouTube Music now.
So you can tell that they're trying to go into that more so the content and subscription route now. They've already introduced something similar to Netflix where you can rent movies off
That's
of it.
right. Yeah.
It's paid per service as opposed to a subscription to access all the content.
That's right. Yeah.
But you get to see that there's a lot of that happening. And then I know a few people who are YouTubers, and they were saying now that they're starting to get big as YouTubers, there's a lot of support for them. So that's something
Yeah.
Google is doing. Is they're saying, okay, listen, we have a group of people who are super talented. They create really good content. Let's nurture them. Let's give them studio space for free. Let's give them help in terms of the technical side of things. Let's really get that content
Yeah.
and take it to the next level.
Yeah.
And so that's something that you're seeing now, is that these platforms are offering people more and more support to get their content out in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Another thing, so Instagram, for example, now has, for a little while, had for business profiles the ability to tag products in a post. So you can have a post, and in that post, for example, it may be a model wearing some outfit, and then the shoes may be what the company is trying to sell. They can tag the shoes,
Oh,
and then
okay.
have a link directly to the website. And
Oh,
so,
is that right?
so
Wow.
there's a lot of things that are happening in terms of small features. I don't think there's anything big that's going to happen right away, but these small things are going to keep happening, and then the way that the content is delivered and the type of content you can deliver, that is going to keep growing and expanding.
So this statement brings me to the next question for us. Google, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and of course there is Amazon, or there's Apple, Samsung, or Tesla. All these giants. So do you think is there anyone, or they will allow third person to come up because they'll buy them right away. So then what do you see the future? Is it only these few companies, or you see someone new can jump into the market? What do you see?
Right. So I do see a lot of space for a new giant to step up in some cases.
Yeah.
Some of these areas may not be so clear to people, but
Right.
that's why there might be a space for people, to grow into those spaces. So an example is, for example, Tesla wasn't really heard of, 5-10 years
That's
ago.
right. Yeah. That's
They're a
right.
new giant,
Yeah.
but they're innovating immensely.
That's
They're doing
right.
a lot of very cool things.
That's right.
And so if there's another giant that steps up and does really cool things with virtual reality,
Yeah.
maybe Oculus, who knows, or something along those same lines, they can make a big difference. But also in the mobile sector, like iOS and Android, like Apple, Google have been
Yes,
around
sir.
for a very long time.
Yeah.
And Microsoft has been trying to break into that market. Same with BlackBerry, but I feel like they haven't done a very good job. But there is a space potentially for another giant to step up.
For
Whether that
another
be one of those or another one.
So do you think in all these giants, so they talk behind the scene, they are one behind the scene, you think? They're talking, okay, so we're gonna do this next year, so next 2 years you can do this, or third year the other person, all these are talking they are one behind the scene.
Definitely to some degree, but I wouldn't say they're, plotting
Is that
behind our
right?
backs, we're gonna take over the world, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure companies are talking to other companies to try to grow certain areas and try to help the end users, try to make sure they're keeping up with everybody's features. There is, some sort of war between, for example, Apple and Google,
Right.
but there are, some cases where they'll talk to each other and try to, grow together,
Grow
not just
together.
be enemies.
Yeah,
right?
yes, that's right. Yeah, there are some more new people joined us as well. This was Salim, Shazad, Roshan, Anwar Bhai, Yalimadar, Parveen Yalimadar, and of course, Anwar Makhani from Lisbon.
Oh.
I'm telling you, people are watching all over the world today, man. Hello, Parveen. Hello, Ella Clarence, how are you? And we are looking forward to your fundraiser on July 21st. Yes, we are. Rehan Arana from US, Yalimadar Rahman Bhai, and Shamira Virani. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. So, jate, just if your phone numbers, website, Facebook, how can someone contact you guys?
Yeah, so we're Sozentech, SOZENTECH, all one word. on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Our website is sozentech.com. We have a YouTube channel that is in development, so eventually that'll be something to look out for. We'll obviously let the world know when that happens through social media.
Right.
In terms of how they can contact us by phone, you can contact either Faraz or myself. Our numbers are 403-971-7786, and then by email you can contact us at either Faraz or Naguib at sozentech.com.
Sozentech.com. Wow, thank you so much, guys.
Thank
It
you
was
for having us.
fun. No, I think there were, of course, I think we had about half hour, but I think there was so much knowledge. At least we know what's going on, and maybe if something new breaks, so yeah, we can get you guys back here again. And we'll talk
Absolutely,
about
absolutely.
what's in the future or something. You guys have something new coming up. We can premiere the app here, right here.
That's right, and like you were saying, we owe you a commission, and so
Okay.
in the form of
Okay.
a commission for all of the kind people that have been watching us around here for a while now.
Okay.
We'd like to offer all of the viewers 10% off if
10%
they
off.
want to attend the boot camp that's coming up here at the end of July.
End of
July
July.
22nd is the first day of the boot camp.
Okay.
So if you just use the promo code RADIO on our Eventbrite page, which is sozentechbootcamp.eventbrite.ca, and you can find the link to that either through our social media or through our website. And then again, just use the radio code, the promo code RADIO,
Yeah.
RADIO,
Yeah.
and you'll get 10% off.
Oh, there you go. Guys, make sure go make some money for me, guys, please. Do something more. Thank you for us. It was a pleasure to have you. It was fun.
Pleasure.
Naguib, so did you guys enjoy?
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Maza aaya? Was good? Was
That
fun?
was fun.
Yeah, awesome, guys, awesome. Okay, guys, these are our two young smiley entrepreneurs, Faraz Bojani on my right, and of course Naguib Damani on my left. Guys, make sure sozentech.com, and I will, when I post the pictures tomorrow, I will post their website as well, so you guys can go look at it, and make sure join the bootcamp so I can get some money here. Or just bring the or just bring the food for me, so I'm happy here. I'm just kidding. And again, people are watching from Lisbon, Anwar Makhani, Tanzil Baidani, thank you so much, guys. People are watching from US, Pakistan, India, and of course, my own Canada. Thank you so much. And again, happy Canada Day, guys. And Dam Jubilee Mubarak to all our Smiley brothers and sisters around the globe. We'll be back in 5 minutes with our break. Thank you, Yali Madad.